Welcome back to Bloomington Buddies. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a jam-packed episode for you here today. Opening day is tomorrow, as well as the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 is coming in the ensuing weekend.
Yep.
So we have a jam-packed weekend of sports. We will talk brackets, we will talk the women's tournament, and we will talk baseball opening day.
Mm-hmm.
And also maybe a little Shohei Ohtani talk, because that is...
Big story right now in baseball.
An interesting discussion.
It's something that I feel like the MLB is going to try and bury, but I don't know if it's going to quite get buried as well as they hope it will.
Okay, let's start off with what I want to talk about first. The Indiana women's basketball team, Sweet 16 bound.
Let's go.
Sweet 16 bound. They won both of their games at home in the NCAA tournament. They beat a 31-1 Fairfield team, 89-56. That was actually a close game up until half. Fairfield, actually, they could shoot, man.
They were good, man.
They were good.
They were keeping it closer than a lot of IU fans were hoping for.
Indiana completely locked in the second half, though. They outscored them 26-15 in the third quarter and 25-7 in the fourth quarter. But other than those first two, Fairfield was definitely in the game. It was a 3-point lead at halftime. But, yeah, and then in the next round, they played Oklahoma, who took down Florida Gulf Coast in what was a really good game. I didn't
last night. Or no, Monday night.
I didn't stay for the Oklahoma-Florida Gulf Coast game, but I was keeping tabs on it, and it was a pretty good game. And then so IU played Oklahoma, and this was a dogfight back and forth. The largest the lead got for either team until the very end was Oklahoma at 6.
Yeah. It was, like you said, an absolute, honestly, it was just such a definition of a back and forth game that really, no one knew it was going to win or anything, but it was looking likely that Oklahoma was probably going to take the win. But eventually it just reached a point where, to me, IU's offense reminded me of Purdue's defense, or of Purdue's offense. I've often joked a lot of times that, Purdue's offense is just get the ball to Zach Edey down low, let him do a little quick pivot, and then a hook shot, and then he's in, But that's essentially what happened towards the end of this game with Mackenzie Holmes. Oklahoma just didn't make an adjustment down low. Sidney Parrish or anybody would get to the top of the key, they would look for a second, and then they'd just be like, all right, let me just get it to Mackenzie. Right down low, she would just, play bully ball down low, just oh, it was great. Just no adjustment or anything by Oklahoma, and she would just get the bucket every single time down low in the paint. No adjustments at all.
I mean, I will give a lot of credit to Oklahoma's defense in this game, because Garzone and Scalia were in jail this game. They could not get anything off.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was very clear that Oklahoma's defensive mindset was do not let them shoot threes.
Exactly.
Because if you let them shoot threes, they will run away with the game.
Which was great, but then, like I said, they just didn't make the adjustment at the end of the game when Mackenzie Holmes would get the ball every single possession and then just play bully ball down low.
Eventually, that's what happened. And Indiana's defense secured that game. I think the last 5 possessions of the game, Oklahoma just couldn't score.
Yeah.
I mean, they were getting steals and everything. So IU wins the game. And they have a date with number 1 ranked 34-0 South Carolina.
This is unquestionably going to be the toughest game of the year for them. And
I mean,
the big amount of hope that I'm holding out for this game is the fact that they beat Iowa at home earlier this year, but they're going to be on the road. They're going to be playing
a neutral site game.
Yes, but I mean, it's going to be tough regardless, especially with South Carolina fans, So it's undoubtedly going to be the toughest game of the year for them. Like I said, holding out hope right now. Like you said, the perimeter game is going to be really what decides, I think, this game. If IU can stay consistent beyond the arc, then they can definitely make it a very interesting game.
What worries me about South Carolina is their team is just bigger and taller.
Yeah,
it's is Sydney you can't have Mackenzie Holmes guard every big on the team. Is Sydney Parrish guarding their power forward? I don't know. I mean, they have to just shoot the lights out from 3. They have to. They have no other option, I feel like. The opening line is South Carolina 16.5.
16.5? God.
I think that's a little much.
But at the same time, you have to think, like, South Carolina's been absolutely dominant, not just in the first round against the 16 seed, but also in the second round against North Carolina. Like, they absolutely pummeled everybody that they've played so far. I have a stat pulled up real quick. Let me see if I can find it.
Well,
But yeah, so they've outscored their opponents so far in the tournament 179 to 80.
Oh, Jesus.
Almost a 100-point difference. So, I mean, like I said, you likely kind of expect that sort of thing against a 16 seed Presbyterian, but when it comes to, like, literally that number being cut in half and they're playing the number 8 team,
no drop off.
There's no drop off at all. So they've just been looking like the absolute dominating force that we've expected, you know? So
the game that I'm looking at to maybe give me hope is the game they played against Tennessee in the first round of their first game of the SEC tournament.
Yeah.
Where they needed a buzzer beater 3 to even win that game.
Yeah.
Because IU beat Tennessee earlier in the year. They embarrassed them, actually. So, I mean, I'm trying to see if I can find any, like, statistical trends in here. Like, they shot 4 of 15 from 3. I mean, yeah, I don't even know. I'm trying to find something, but I think the only thing I'm looking at is they have to legitimately shoot like 70% from 3 because Mackenzie Holmes is just not going to be able to take over the game. Like she just won't be able to.
I mean, everybody's going to have to step up, obviously. So, like, you're going to have to go back and forth between that perimeter game, but also trying to make sure you don't get too comfortable beyond there because you want to maintain the consistency inside the paint as well.
We'll have to see. Mackenzie Holmes, first team All-American, like, for a reason. So
absolutely.
We'll have to see. And then the rest of the women's bracket. The women's bracket is normally pretty chalky as compared to the men's tournament, just because you play the first round games at home. So that's a big advantage for
everything, though, so far in the women's tournament has just been, like, correct on paper. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like,
there were a few, like, okay, so in Indiana's region, 2-seed Notre Dame and 3-seed Oregon State advanced. In the region below them, number 1 Texas, number 2 Stanford, number 3 NC State, number 4 Gonzaga.
Yep.
In the other Albany regional, number 1 Iowa, number 2 UCLA, number 3 LSU, and number 5 Colorado. They beat who'd they beat? They beat the 4 Kansas State.
Yeah.
And then this is really the only region. USC number 1. Duke upset Ohio State.
That was probably the best game so far of the tournament.
Either
that or Stanford versus Iowa State, because that game was a huge, like, just back and forth overtime game. But other than that, yeah, I'd say Duke versus Ohio State was probably one of the best games of the tournament so far.
So, and then UConn and Baylor. Baylor's always really good in women's basketball. They beat the 4-seed Virginia Tech. I have Virginia Tech going really far in my bracket. I was kind of upset about that. So now here's the thing. I think you might see a lot more upsets in this Sweet 16 round. Because I think the teams are so. I think once you get.
This is where it's going to get, like, really good.
I think like there's a very clear cut upper echelon in women's basketball, and pretty much all these teams are a part of it. And there's not much separation. So I think we're at a point where anyone can beat anyone. Didn't Colorado beat Iowa earlier in the year?
Yeah, they did. I think I don't think they beat them twice.
But Colorado plays Iowa. Obviously, IU, South Carolina. We'll have to see. I don't know. I will say the Final Four is in Cleveland, which I don't know whose idea it was to put it in Cleveland. But if IU makes the Final Four, might have to go.
Oh, that'd be freaking sick.
Might have to go. We'll have to see.
Because like you said, the Final Four's in Cleveland, so it's definitely doable. If you can get tickets, so
we could see an LSU Iowa rematch. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know. We'll see. Is UCLA really that good? I haven't really been keeping much track of them.
Yeah, UCLA is really good.
They beat Creighton by 4. Because I know LSU's supposed to. LSU won it all last year, and they're 30-5. Like, they have a better overall record than UCLA. I'm just kind of wondering.
UCLA is really good. I'd probably still go with LSU, I think, just because of the consistency of this team and because of the experience that they have in this tournament, you know?
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about the men's bracket. What is that? Now, just like the women's tournament, the men's tournament has been a little chalkier than what most people are used to. That's not
A little bit.
That's not to say that there's been no upsets. There were definitely their fair share of upsets.
Exactly.
But I feel like I think what I'm trying to get at is a lot of times you see a lot of marquee second round upsets, and it's like, oh, this 13 seed is about to make the Final Four. There weren't really much of those. The only double-digit seed, there's always a double-digit seed to make it, but the only double-digit seed to make it was 11 seed NC State, and even then they were favored in their second round game. So I think that's kind of now this isn't necessarily a bad thing though, because we're about to get some really, really good games.
Yeah.
In these upcoming days. As for my bracket, it's cooked. It's absolutely cooked.
So
I have
mine.
2 of my Final Four out. Baylor and
Same here.
Baylor and Auburn both completely blew it, and yeah, it's done for. Yale made sure my bracket was cooked. We can go through the first round. I mean, Duquesne beat BYU. I saw a thing. It was like, well, BYU can't play on Sundays because of their religious thing, so they were gonna give them the 5 and give San Diego State a 6, but they didn't want BYU to have to play on Sunday, so BYU said, just make us a 6. And then they lost to Duquesne, and people are like, well, did BYU's rules screw them over? It's like, how about you just beat Duquesne? Like, come on.
It was a good game, though.
It was a really
good game.
Really good game. The one real big upset that I think everyone has been talking about is Oakland and Kentucky.
Yeah.
And John Calipari is apparently on the hot seat because he even said, like, oh, it's just not fair that these older transfer players have to play against my freshmen. It's like, okay, whose idea was it to have a whole team full of freshmen?
Yeah.
You. Like, Jack Golke, 10 of 20 from 3, 32 points. I thought it was crazy to find out that he has taken 8 2-point shots on the year.
Jesus.
I don't know if you heard that.
What?
He's taken 8 2-point shots this year.
I did not hear about that.
It's 3-pointers and free throws for this guy. He was crazy. And then in the second round, they gave NC State a battle. I watched this whole game. This was a great game. I thought Oakland had it. It went to overtime.
I was holding out hope, man. That would have been awesome.
Oakland's big man, Trey Towson, dropped 30, but 24 for DJ Burns at NC State. And NC State is, I mean, it has been a while since they've lost. They lost the last game of the regular season.
Well, I was going to say, like,
they've
NC
won
State,
5 in a row, and then the last 2 in the tournament.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, NC State is making, like, a quiet sort of Cinderella run right now. Like, obviously, they got overshadowed because Oakland beat Kentucky and everything. But had that not happened, I feel like we would be talking about NC State a lot more. Because they beat number 6 Texas Tech, and then they beat Oakland. I mean, if they can make it interesting between Marquette, that's a hell of a run, honestly.
We'll see. Marquette's a 6.5-point favorite. Other news: Clemson, who is a team that like no one had in the Sweet 16 because everyone thought they were going to lose to New Mexico.
Yeah.
They made it. They will play Arizona. I think both those teams are so overrated. I hate that one of them has to win. A national championship rematch between UConn and San Diego State. Alabama, North Carolina, Illinois, Iowa State. Those are all going to be really good games. And then Friday, NC State, Marquette, Gonzaga, Purdue. Both those teams blew out both their opponents in their first 2 rounds. And then Duke, Houston, and Creighton, Tennessee. Those will be the 2 best games, I think.
I will say Purdue had like a scary-ish sort of first half against Grambling State. But that's really just the first half of the tournament and everything.
And then they
working out the kinks
Utah State by 39.
But then, Utah State, that game was just not even close.
God. I thought TCU could have given them a good run just because I like the way TCU plays. But, I mean, ugh.
I never thought the day would come that I'm rooting for Gonzaga, but
you don't like Gonzaga?
No. In the past, I've never really been a huge fan. Never really.
I will say here's literally the blueprint to beat. I mean, hold on, I'm trying to look at this. Here's the blueprint to beat Purdue. You double team Edey, and then you make them beat you with threes. You don't let Edey beat you, and that's literally what Grambling State did in the first half.
You have to do that.
But
that has to be the approach.
But against Utah State, they went 11 of 23 from 3. They shot 47%.
If that's how they beat you, then that's how they beat you.
So-
you know, but you can't let Edie beat you.
I mean, Edie he still had 23. But, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think Gonzaga's definitely equipped to beat them, though, because they've been looking really, really good. And the games aren't going to be in Indy, so they're not going to have just a home crowd. But, yeah, they beat Kansas by 21. Murdered McNeese. Oh, my God. I'm so glad I didn't pick McNeese because this was bad. People are making fun of McNeese's out-of-conference schedule. Mm-hmm. They beat a team called Camp Christian. They beat a team called Bible Studies. And my favorite, they beat a team 92-23 called Mississippi School of the Women. They beat the men's team for the Mississippi School of the Women.
How did I not hear about any of these?
No, it was some guy made a video. I don't know. They beat Michigan on the road, though. Anyway.
Well, Michigan was terrible this year.
No, but
historically bad.
This guy, he's like, Mississippi School of the Women. I was like, they beat the men's team for the Mississippi School of the Women? Because I guess Title IX means you need the same amount of men's and women's sports. So,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
But yeah, they beat the men's team for the Mississippi School of the Women. Yeah. And that's kind of crazy that's a team. But we'll see. Maybe there will be some upsets in the Sweet 16. I don't know. The games I'm out. Let's make some picks. We'll make some picks.
Okay.
Clemson, Arizona. I like Arizona.
Yeah, I do too.
San Diego State, UConn. I think this will be closer than people are suggesting.
It would be so much fun if San Diego State beat UConn.
I think because UConn has been just crazy good. They
just murdering their opponents.
But I think just the fact that it's a little bit of a revenge game for San Diego State. They beat them in the national title. I think San Diego State is playing a little bit better than people are giving them credit for.
Yeah.
I think UConn will win. I think San Diego State covers the 10.5. I think this is close.
I think UConn beats them, but yes, I do think it's close. It's going to be a fun game, though. If San Diego State beats them, I'm not going to be heartbroken at all.
Yeah. UNC, Alabama, the BPI actually gives us a 50-50 pretty much. I don't think Alabama is good. They have no defense.
No.
I really wanted Grand Canyon to beat them, and Grand Canyon almost pulled it off. I don't know. I picked UNC. I picked both these teams to get upset. I picked Michigan State to beat North Carolina.
I'm going with North Carolina for this one.
I think North Carolina is going to win.
The defense is going to be the biggest factor in that one.
All right, and then Illinois, Iowa State. This is just offense versus defense, pretty much.
Give me Iowa State,
and it's going to be whose style comes to fruition.
Got to give me Iowa State for this one.
I think it's Iowa State too. I think defense beats offense in a playoff atmosphere. I think definitely. I mean, Illinois, you beat Morehead State and Duquesne, like whoop-de-doo. I mean, Iowa State, they beat Washington State by 11. They beat South Dakota State without any issues. I think it's going to be the Cyclones. And then Friday, NC State, Marquette. I mean, it's hard for me to pick against NC State with the way they've been playing.
Yeah. I mean, I think Marquette's going to come out on top of this one, but...
I think a matchup to watch is DJ Burns versus Oso Ighodaro.
Okay.
The big dude for NC State.
Yeah.
Because everyone's talking about how great Oso Ighodaro is, but I don't think he's that great. Like, the guy shoots 47% from the line. Like, come on. But, no, I don't think Ighodaro is that great. I think he's a good player, but, I mean, I don't think he's that great. DJ Burns has kind of been this, like, folk hero almost for NC State. I don't know. I think eventually NC State's got to lose, but then again, like, there's always that one team that makes it hella far.
Yeah. I'm going with Marquette, but like I said, I wouldn't be heartbroken, though, if NC State won, because that would be so much fun.
Marquette was close in both their games. I think Colorado's a better team than NC State, though. Colorado's actually really good, I feel like. I'm going to take Marquette, but I think that's close. Gonzaga, Purdue. All right, these next three are going to be the three best games of the second round.
Yeah.
These last three.
Yeah.
I mean, where is this game at for Purdue Gonzaga? It is in Detroit. Oh, that's going to be a Purdue home game. Damn it. I mean, every year. Here's the thing. Every year Gonzaga loses in the Sweet 16. Every year they do. Every year they do.
I really want to hold out hope that Gonzaga can pull this one off. I really do.
I mean, is Graham Ike going to be able to defend Zach Edey? I mean, maybe. Tickets are $204. Jeez.
I looked up tickets for the women's Final Four, and they're going for $600 right now.
Oh,
so unfortunately, it looks like we won't be able to make that trip.
Oh boy. Yeah. Here's the thing. For the women's Final Four, I hope Iowa loses, because I think if Iowa makes it to the Final Four, I just don't want to see Caitlin Clark. So if Iowa loses, I think that's big for ticket prices.
I think South Carolina's winning it all. Like for the women's tournament, like they're just so good. They're so good.
I think Purdue beats Gonzaga, and then Duke, Houston. Houston survived a scare against Texas A&M because A&M played them earlier in the year and almost beat them. So that kind of rematch, we know how to beat them now. Mm-hmm. They played. I think A&M played like the best game they possibly could. And they still
absolutely.
Lost. I still think this is Houston's tournament to lose.
I mean, it's still incredible the fact that Houston, racked up 100 points though in that game.
I think it's Houston's tournament to lose. I think they're just as good as UConn. A UConn-Houston national championship would be like peak basketball.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that would be so good.
Best game of the year.
I'm gonna take Houston, although Duke could give them a run. This is in the South region though. It's in Dallas. That's an advantage for Houston, definitely.
Okay.
If it was in like New York, bunch of Duke fans like in New York. North Carolina fans call Duke like the University of New York at Durham.
Yeah.
So I think it's in Dallas. I like Houston to win that one.
I do too.
And then Creighton, Tennessee. Oh, this is going to be really good. Both these teams just have really good defenses, I feel like. Like, just not a lot of points being scored. I think this game will be won in the 60s.
Well, I think I had Tennessee making it all the way to the Final Four. So I'm going with Tennessee.
I had Creighton winning this game in my bracket. I mean, Tennessee's favored by 2.5. This game's played also in Detroit, so not really an advantage. I mean, I don't know. I think both these teams are going to have
No. I had Kansas going to the Final Four. It was Tennessee versus Kansas in this last one, and then I had Kansas winning. Sorry, continue.
I don't know about this one. Both these teams survived a scare. Oregon needed double overtime to beat Oregon, and Tennessee won by 4 against Texas, like 62-58. I think it's just going to come down to, like, we're playing this game at an incredibly slow pace.
Yeah.
And I think I like Creighton. I just think all around this team makes clutch shots that they need to. Like every single game they're making clutch shots. I think their DNA matches up a lot nicely with Tennessee. I think Creighton's going to win. We'll see. Those are my picks. We could fill out an actual Sweet 16 bracket, but I don't really want to. I think real quickly, just out of each region, out of the West, I think it's UNC. And then out of the East, I think it's UConn. I think UConn Iowa State would be a great game, but I think UConn would beat them.
I think I agree with you with West, NC, North Carolina, and then the East, UConn. Yeah.
I hate to be like this.
South, I've probably got Houston.
I think I got Purdue and Houston because those are the 2 Final Four I still have in. I hate to just say all the 1 seeds, but I feel like
I mean, as much as I
think the one seed that's the most likely to lose is Purdue. I think Purdue has the toughest region with these 3 teams they have left, but I still think they're better than all of them.
I mean, I was talking about this with Galen Clavio on Monday, but like, as boring as it would be to have all the 1 seeds in the Final Four,
it would still be like great basketball.
It makes for the best basketball. It makes for the best formula that you can possibly have. As much fun as it is to see, like your NC States and FAU, make their runs, like that's always so much fun. But then you immediately regret it then when you just get that inevitable blowout game that happens.
Even though last year it was really fun having those teams. It's whatever. I'm not like complaining. Oh, there's too many hires. I'm just the thing I'm worried about is all the upsets I picked just didn't win.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk about baseball. Do we want to talk about Ohtani?
I'd be down for talking about it. I mean, he's the biggest athlete in the sport, and he's in the hot seat right now, so I would be down for it.
So, essentially, what has been rumored to have happened or has happened is that Ohtani's interpreter placed $4.5 million worth of bets
on different sports
on Ohtani's account. And people are saying, like, now I feel like it's very split 50-50. I feel like half the people are like, oh, he definitely just didn't know that was going on, and it's all his interpreters just taking advantage of him and stuff. And then there's another contingent of people, including Michael K., who put out a thing. I don't know if I sent you it or not. I don't think I did.
I don't know if you did, but I think I've seen it though.
He's like, he's with this guy 24/7. He's constantly around him. How could he not know? Like, you're giving him access to your public bank trend, and you don't know what's going on.
Because there were rumors spreading around in the beginning that Ohtani, because all the money came from Ohtani's personal bank account. $4.5 million out of his personal bank account was paid to a bookie. Now, some have been saying that Ohtani was doing his friend a favor. He was, doing it out of the kindness of his heart and paying off this bookie because he was $4.5 million in debt.
Yeah.
But Ohtani comes out and says, no, I didn't do that. The interpreter stole my money from me. Like, he embezzled me out of $4.5 million.
Now, here's what people have been saying. If this is like Marcell Ozuna, or if it's like another player that's had a bad rap, how is the MLB going to take this? Because this is the MLB's golden boy. This is their prodigal son. They need this guy on the field.
And let's not kid ourselves. The greatest player to ever play the game.
Yes, I fully agree.
Let's stop kidding ourselves here. Shohei Ohtani is the greatest baseball player of all time.
Now, here's my opinion. I think Ohtani's right that he had no idea. Because here's the thing. Here's what you got to know about, Japanese players. They do not care about money. Guys like Ohtani, Ohtani specifically. Here's what he does. He wakes up and trains. And if he has a game, he plays. And then he goes to bed. His life is dedicated to just becoming the best baseball player he can be.
Well, Ohtani himself has proven that he doesn't really care about the money because he took a $2 billion pay cut.
Exactly. I bet you it was just a relief off his shoulders to be like, here, just take care of my finances. I really don't give a shit. $2 million is more than I need to live my life. Just manage it for me. I don't care. So I'm believing that he legitimately just got taken advantage of. This guy's just placing reckless bets.
I do believe that as well.
I think that's the case.
I believe that as well. There was a statement that came out from the interpreter. He came forward and gave a statement early on in the process after he was fired by the Dodgers and everything. He came forward and admitted, yes, I did place bets, obviously, but I never bet on baseball. And he goes, the reason that I bet on these other sports was because I thought it was legal for anyone involved in the MLB or whatever. I thought it was legal that you could bet on other sports that outside of baseball you were totally fine, when that's not the case.
Is that not the case?
It's not the case.
Okay.
You can't do anything. That's how Jordan got in trouble.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
So, but yeah, that was what the interpreter said. He came forward and admitted all of that. Yes, I did do this, but
now people are just trying to figure out whether Ohtani was in on it or not.
That's the whole investigation right now. It's clear that the interpreter was doing.
I'm telling you right now. I'll tell you all right now. There's no way.
I mean, the MLB is under investigation right now. They've just launched an investigation. I don't believe Ohtani is involved with it. And
he has nothing to gain by placing all this stuff.
Exactly.
I'm telling you right now, they will not find anything.
Well, I mean, neither did Jordan, but he bet on stuff too. Jordan never really gained anything. The money was just
Jordan's
frugal for him,
Jordan's a pretty well known gambling addict though. That is something that they found. I'm telling you right now, they won't find anything on Ohtani.
Even if they do, they're never gonna.
Even if
Ohtani's the most guilty person in the world, which I don't believe he is.
Even if
they found everything,
they're not coming forward.
The MLB's never gonna come forward with it. They are gonna try and bury this thing as deep as they can.
Yeah,
they are never gonna try and let this see the light of day.
Yeah,
they are just holding on until tomorrow, because technically the Dodgers season has already started. But they are just holding on until opening day, because once opening day happens and everybody starts playing, they're hoping that this can just get swept under the rug.
Yeah. So opening day is tomorrow, March 28th. Have we done season predictions yet?
We did, yeah. It was a while back when spring training first started. We just gave like our way too early predictions on like who we thought was gonna.
I feel like we should
the
do it. I
series.
feel like we should do it again just because it's more relevant.
Okay.
I hate to repeat content, but I don't think a lot of people saw that one.
Okay.
So, real quickly, just division order. AL East.
Who I think is winning it all.
Yeah, and they're just like order of the teams.
I'm going Yankees, Orioles. These two are always interchangeable. It seems like Yankees, Orioles. I'll go Blue Jays, Rays, Red Sox.
All right, I think the Orioles win. I think Yankees second, Rays third. I don't like the Blue Jays that much this year. I think Jays fourth, and then Red Sox fifth. That team's gonna be bad.
By the way, one thing that happened while we were gone, Joey Votto signs a contract with the Blue Jays. So
Oh yeah, he did do that.
he's
good
going,
for him.
He's going home. So
Good
him.
for him. Yeah, the Red Sox are gonna be bad.
Yeah,
I think
it's not gonna be good.
I don't think the Yankees are better than the Orioles. I just don't think they are.
You really don't think so?
Yeah, I don't think so.
The biggest thing that I'm worried about, obviously, when it comes to the Yankees, is the injuries. We've had guys drop like flies so far in the spring.
I need to know one thing.
We've had guys dropping.
I need to know one thing for the sake of my fantasy team because I was drafting my team and I realized in like the 15th round I didn't have a shortstop.
Yeah.
Is Volpe due for a good year?
Yes, he
You
is.
think so?
Obviously, I'm biased, but I wholeheartedly believe that Volpe is in for a good year.
Okay.
He made the adjustments last year. Like, obviously, his rookie season wasn't everything that he wanted it to be.
I got laughed at when I drafted Anthony Volpe.
No, dude. He's going to be good this year. He's
Okay.
going to be good.
'Cause
Like, he's made so many great adjustments in the offseason, and he's played well. Like, he was a Gold Glove shortstop. Like, what the fuck else do you
Defense
want?
doesn't really matter in this though.
Yeah.
I need to know if he can hit.
He's going to be able to hit. He's going to be able to hit.
Okay. That's all right.
He can
that
get you bases, too. He's
that
really
makes
fast.
me that makes me feel a lot better because this is an incredibly competitive league.
Yeah.
It's all just people that watch baseball all day. All right, the Central. It's Minnesota. Then you can range these four losers any way you want to. I'm not even kidding. I mean, I don't even want to waste any more breath on this division. You could put as long as you put the White Sox last because that team is horrible.
They're bad. They're bad.
I might buy some $2 White Sox versus A's tickets eventually.
Tim Anderson got traded to the Marlins now. So
Yeah,
they're-
I actually think that was a good move for the Marlins because you know he has the potential to have a good year.
absolutely.
Like why not? Why not? You're the Miami Marlins. Why not
like,
give him?
what else do they have to lose?
Why
you
not
know?
give him a 1 year proof? Like I think that's a low risk,
No, that's exactly
low reward.
that's
Like,
exactly what they gave
I
him,
think
yeah.
that's a good move actually by Miami.
I'd say so. Yeah.
AL West. I think it's Houston's division to lose. I mean, they just got Josh Hader. That's kind of crazy. And then Texas will finish second. That's becoming
I
a
agree.
really good big rivalry.
It's a good division. It's growing into a good division, you know. But
Mariners will finish third. Probably Angels fourth, and then the A's are just they're terrible. They're so bad.
I can't wait, honestly, though. I can't wait to watch the A's.
I'm not lying. I think the White Sox might be worse.
I don't know about that.
I think they might be because here's the thing: the players don't care for the Sox. Like the
Well,
club.
neither do they.
Here's the thing: the A's are all just players that don't have talent, but they at least care about winning. I don't know. They're both going to be incredibly bad.
I feel like you're giving them a little too much credit.
All right, and then AL wildcard teams. I'm going Yankees. I'm going Rangers. And I'm going Rays. No, I'm not going Rays. Yes, I am going with the Rays.
I'm going Orioles, Rangers, and
It's between the Rays and the Mariners. I just think the Rays always find a way. No Wander Franco now because of reasons.
Yes.
But
I'm going Orioles, Rangers, Blue Jays. That's what I'm going with.
okay. And then my ALCS, I think it's going to be I'm going to say Houston, Baltimore, and I think Baltimore wins. I will say I want to see a Yankees-Orioles playoff matchup so badly.
I do too.
I want to see a
really
DS, like a
do.
DS.
Like everyone in the AL East I hate, but I love the Orioles. The Orioles are so much fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
They're such a fun team to watch.
We'll
as
see.
a baseball fan, I love the
So
Orioles.
I'm saying Orioles. I'm saying Orioles and Houston, and then the Orioles win the division or win the league. AL champs.
I might go with. I'm gonna go Yankees. Houston. Yeah, I'm gonna go Yankees. Houston.
And then the Yankees are making the World Series. Are the Yankees making the
They're
World
due
Series?
at some point to
They're
finally
due.
beat Houston.
Yeah, they're due. Yeah. Okay.
I'm biased. I almost did think Yankees Rangers though, but I think it's more likely.
I think the
Yankees,
Rangers
Houston.
will make the playoffs. I don't think they're winning the World Series again. Like that was a crazy run that they had, but I don't think
That was
they're
a
doing
fun
it.
run.
I don't think they're doing that again. All right, and then the NL East. I think it's Braves, Phillies close second.
Yep.
And then I think it's the Mets, and then Miami, and then the Nats.
I'm going Braves and then Phillies close second as well. Yeah, Mets. I'll give the Nats. I'll throw the Nats a bone. So I'll go.
Really?
I'll
You
go
got Miami
Braves.
last?
Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, Tim Anderson might have a little bit of a bounce back year. I mean, he was terrible last year.
Miami made the
year.
playoffs last year, though.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh fuck, they did.
The reason I have them sliding
Yeah.
to fourth is because my friend pointed out that they were like 40-10 in one-run games,
Yeah.
and he's like, that is due for regression to the mean.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you know, I think I'll go with the same.
I actually
ranking for
picked
you as
them
well.
to beat Philly in the playoffs because I was like, grit, so much grit. on the team.
Wait, you had the Marlins beating the Phillies?
In my playoff bracket, I did just because grit, and they did it to the Cubs. They beat the Cubs 2-0 when the Cubs were supposed to murder them.
And then Bryce Harper came out. He's just like, nah.
All right, Central. I think the Cubs are the best team in this division.
I think the Reds are actually going to have a sneaky good year this year. The
Here's
Reds
my
are
thing
good.
about the Reds.
I know you don't like the
They
Reds.
always. I think the Reds are finishing second. They always choke, though. They always choke.
Yeah, I don't know if I have too much faith in the Reds. I'll give the Cubs the division, but the Reds a close second, I think.
And then the last three, they're just incredibly.
I'll go Cardinals third, but
I
then
think
the other two.
These last three are incredibly mid.
Yeah.
I think it's a popular pick to put the Pirates last, but they have some pieces. Like I think.
I mean, they're not going to do anything special this
the
year.
Brewers finish last because they don't have a coach. Like Craig Counsell's now the coach of the Cubs, and they lost like everyone from their team.
Yeah, I'm going
I
Cubs,
think
Reds,
Brewers are last.
Cardinals, Brewers, Pirates.
I think Brewers last. I think Cardinals. No, I think Pirates fourth, Cardinals third. A lot of people, I've seen people with St. Louis winning the division, and it's like you're crazy. They had no pitching last year, and all they did was sign Sonny Gray.
I mean,
Like
it's just because in 2022 they were good, you know.
yeah. So I think Cubs, Reds, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, and then in the West,
Dodgers.
it's the Dodgers division to lose.
Yep.
I think the D-backs finished second. They just got Jordan Montgomery as of like yesterday.
The Diamondbacks did.
Yeah.
They did officially get Jordan Montgomery.
About damn time.
Right? Like he's been the most undervalued free agent in this entire offseason.
Who did Blake Snell sign with again? Was it the Giants? Right?
He signed with the Giants.
Okay.
Blake Snell signed with the Giants.
I don't think that's going to move the needle much on the Giants for me. I think I still have them finishing fourth. I'm
Yeah,
going
1 year.
Dodgers, D-backs, Padres,
What is going on?
Giants, Rockies.
Yeah, I'm so lost though. Like, what's going on? Because like, he was a valuable piece to that Rangers team, and
They
yet
don't want to pay him.
they don't want to pay him. But like, what? But nobody else wanted to pay him.
No, guess
Nobody
not.
like because he's going to the Diamondbacks, but it's on a 1-year deal. It's
Yeah.
like what?
No.
Like even the Diamondbacks, like their rival in the World Series, obviously, but like they took him, but even like very hesitantly. It's like, why is everyone so hesitant?
Here's
on him?
something that I think people need to realize. I've made this mistake multiple times. When there's a team that's incredibly young that goes on like a tear and makes it really far, but then like loses like a game before a title, people are like, "Oh, they're just ahead of schedule. They'll be back here next year." I think a lot of times people need to realize like that might be as far as they go. Like like with FAU, and I was like, oh, they're just gonna win the national title because they got everyone back. It's like that's probably gonna be like as good as they get. Maybe. I think that's what a lot of people are feeling about with the Diamondbacks. Here are my wild card teams. My division champs are Cubs, Dodgers, Braves. Philly's definitely getting, I think, the top wild card.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm going to give Arizona one. I think they're still really good. And then the third one, I remember we talked about this for forever because I didn't want to give it to the Reds because I know they're going to choke. I don't want to give it to the Mets because I don't think they're that great. I don't want to give it. I think we ended up giving it to the Padres. And I think that's fair.
For me, it's a toss-up between the Giants and the Reds. Just because Blake Snell's such a huge addition to
the Giants don't really have anyone else, though. Like, they're really not that great.
So I agree with you on, Braves, Cubs, Dodgers for division winners. And then Philly is going to get the top wild card spot. And then the Diamondbacks, I think, are going to sneak into one as well, yes.
Okay.
Like I said, for me, it's a toss-up between the Reds and the Giants. I might go with the Reds. I think I'm going to go with Cincy.
Okay. NLCS. I think the Dodgers are going to choke. I really think they are. Because they always do. Like, they always do. I'm going to go with... I think they'll get the 1 seed, the Dodgers will. I think in, like, the second round, they're going to lose to, like, Philly.
I'm going. Go ahead.
I think it's good. I think in like a 5-game set they'll split at Dodger Stadium, and then Philly will just like take them to the shed at the bank.
You think so?
I don't think that they always do it every year. They got swept last year by the Diamondbacks. Like they don't perform in the playoffs. They never do.
But you're missing the key components.
Oh yeah,
to
no,
this
they
team.
got Ohtani. So what?
Their pitching rotation is so fucking good, dude.
I don't know.
They've added Tyler Glass now to their rotation.
They did do that.
Like,
and I will say, I drafted Yamamoto in both of my fantasy leagues, and he got shelled in his opening start in Korea.
But
my friend is
opening start. It's his opening start.
My friend is like, he's like, if it happens again, you should be worried, but I don't think it will.
No, I 1,000% agree with that.
Kind of like what you said with Volpe.
I 1,000% agree with you on that. Like. It was his first start.
I'm still taking.
Yes, he got absolutely.
I'm still taking Philly. Dodgers are choking. And I think it's going to be Braves and Philly.
I'm going Braves and Dodgers.
And then the Braves are making the World Series.
You've got the Braves making the World Series?
I think their revenge tour is going to be one for the ages after they lost to Philly.
Now, I would like to see the Braves make the World Series just because I'm moving there after graduation. But I think it's going to be Yankees-Dodgers. I think it's going to be Yankees-Dodgers.
Yankees Braves World Series. Is Jackson going to like game 1
to any Atlanta? Of them?
I feel like you got to. Like if you're living in Atlanta, when are you going to see the Yankees play in the World Series? Like I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
may as well. All right, World Series. I have Orioles Braves, and I think the Orioles win. This team is the 2016 Cubs.
That's not a bad pick. I don't dislike that pick. I don't dislike it.
I know I just said, don't take the young team that's like ahead of schedule. This isn't just a young team that's ahead of schedule. They won like 100 and something games last year.
They were really good last year.
And, they got swept in the playoffs. But I think they're going to learn from that and everything. And I think that they're going to make the World Series because the 2015 Cubs were an incredibly young team that was ahead of schedule. And then every player was just like a star on that team. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what you're going to see from the Orioles this year.
I've got Yankees-Dodgers in the World Series. And from what I remember from the last time we did this, I think I have the Yankees winning. I think I'm going to stick with it.
The Yankees winning the World Series?
Yankees win the World Series. They get number 28 this year. Dude, Juan Soto's so good. And he loves being in New York. He already loves it, man. We're dropping like flies right now, but I would much rather we drop like flies right now than in August. So we've still got Cole. He's still going to be coming back. I think he's going to be back sometime in May, I think they said. Or no. It doesn't matter. But the biggest thing that scares me, I guess, is the rest of the pitching rotation.
He's trying to convince himself that the Yankees are going to win the World Series.
Yes, I am.
And he can't do it.
He'll
say
say
it,
it.
but he can't do it. We'll see.
I think we've got a lot more depth, like in our lineup.
My
So much good depth.
one
in
of the
lineup.
guys in our the president of our baseball club just dropped $500 on the Cubs to win the division.
Jesus Christ.
So
$500.
So we'll see. We'll see if the Cubs win the division.
All right, then that's gonna be
All
an
right.
interesting time for
Have
him.
a great baseball season, everybody. Please take care.